Hey everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel review. Today I'm reviewing the new Kawasaki KLX300. Let's check it out. We'll hit it or quit it, people. So a little bit of the kind of riding we've done on this. We've done something a fair bit different for this bike. Number one, we rode this off-road a lot more than you probably should and would, but we did it because we got two bikes. We've got the dual sport that's in the background. There's only two of us and we wanted to ride together, so that's what we did. Today we took the bike through the canyons and also did some freeway work, and we've also been running around town and doing some kind of city riding as well. So pretty much all the kind of stuff you'd normally do on a motard, except for the off-road stuff, but hey, who knows, you might want to do that as well. Okay, let's talk about the KLX300. First up is it has the bigger displacement motor now, but it's also got shorter suspension, stiffer springs, and a bigger front brake. Other changes also are it has different handlebars. They are completely different design and they are narrower, and it has different mirrors. Also, if you turn the dash on, the dash lights up blue. So if you like blue, get blue on here. The bike comes in this color here, the green, but it's also got blue as well instead of green. Otherwise it's exactly the same. So let's start off with the engine, because everyone wants to know about the engine. The first thing I thought when I was riding this on the road was, wow, this is underpowered for the street. But it's a very fun bike to ride. It's got a little bit of bottom end and mid-range punch, not a lot, and very little up top. So most of the time you find you are in the mid-range, really winding on from there, and it's a lot of fun. This will cruise on 60, 65 all day. We did do a top speed run on this as well, so we will do another video on that. But this is most comfortable in the 60 to 65, but it will sit on 70 on the motorways as well. Where I found this to be the most fun is around the street. Like, it'd be great to be going to shops or something like that on, or riding to and from work in the city. You pretty much just hold it flat everywhere and really wind it on and have a good time. You can really ride this bike, and the engine is very, very smooth, especially for a single. The clutch is really light and easy to use. You can use one finger if you want. I ride like that. Well, technically it's like that, so if you use two fingers or whatever. It's a very light clutch and easy to engage. The transmission is great. I really like the spacing on this. It has taller gearing than the dual sport, so I found it to be much better suited for the street with the gearing as it is, and I wouldn't change the gearing at all. One thing about this motor is it's not exciting. You're not going to be doing wheelies and stuff. Sure, if you're really dedicated or you're Chris Birch or something, yes, you can do slow speed wheelies in this and pop it on first. Otherwise, sorry, you're not really going to be doing wheelies. If you put an FMF system on this, opened up the airbox and gave it a tune, it might give it that little bit more punch, but I think it might just be how it is. Okay, let's talk about this suspension. As I said before, it's shorter and it's stiffer. Personally, I found it to be really good on the street. No issues whatsoever as a whole. If I want to nitpick, the rebound was a bit quick in the rear and stuff when you're pushing or on bumpy roads, but overall, the suspension worked very, very well. It doesn't really dive on the brakes. It's not rough. It's very compliant. I haven't touched the clickers at all either. It's just been really good. In terms of handling, we did some canyons and twisty runs on this today. I wasn't pushing fully because I'm wearing a leather jacket and jeans, so I didn't want to drag my knee or anything, but you can push pretty hard on this. It's all about corner speed and maintaining momentum. So in the canyons, I was pushing a little bit, not too much. One thing I found is you really got to try to get it lent over. It will change direction extremely quick, and it's got a crazy turning circle. Like, this thing will turn on a sixpence, it's crazy. But when you're in the canyons and sweeping corners, you really got to commit to getting into layover, because I feel like it wants to sit itself upright. Kind of wants to sit up a bit, Doesn't want to really bank over like a sports bike. Overall though, I think if you're on a set of leathers or something on this and you want to hang with your sports bike mates, you could easily do that as long as you're not going up hills and relying on power and stuff like that. One thing that's really impressed me on this bike is the brakes. So this has bigger front brakes, it's got a bigger disc on the front, and man, this thing pulls up hard. The brake has great feel, it's really firm, and it's got a lot of power for such a little bike. I don't think you need any more brakes than this. It's got some good stopping power, especially on the front. One thing I like about the rear is this bike has the rubber insert pegs, so it's a little bit higher there. And as a result, for me personally, I like where the brake lever is. It's that little bit lower because I don't have a lot of flexibility in my ankle, or at least I feel like I don't. And it puts the brake lever at a really nice spot and it's easy to get. One thing though is the pegs need to be bigger. I would put bigger pegs in this. And I've never been a big fan of rubber insert pegs because as soon as it gets even slightly damp, they're slippery as buggery. So I would piss off those pegs and put a decent set on that are a bit bigger. Okay, the tyres in this are Road Winner. They're kind of a small brand that I've never really heard of. I've seen them in the past on a couple of small things. 130/70 on the back. It's quite a narrow tyre. No issues with the tyres, to be honest. They were fine. We rode in some kind of damp conditions yesterday. As we said, they were off-road a bit. And today I did some canyon runs and they were absolutely fine. As I said, I don't know if it's the bike or the tyres or a combination. It's a bit hard to get right over and commit and wanted to stand up, but I think that's the bike itself and the design of the bike. One thing I really like about this bike is the layout of the bars and how they feel. It just fits perfectly, like everything is where it should be. It feels great, the bars are at a great height. On long rides, we did notice they could be a bit higher. You gotta crouch over a little bit so the middle of your back gets a bit sore, but I like the layout of that and how everything is done. Also, this has different mirrors compared to the Dual Sport, and you can actually see with these. So you're not just looking at yourself, you can see around and see the traffic. So kudos to Kawasaki for putting good mirrors on this. We've been riding this on the freeway and everything. It is fine on the freeway. 60 to 65 is kind of a sweet spot. It's very smooth motor. Like this motor is so smooth, it's kind of electric. The fuel injection is absolutely perfect on this. The on-off throttle, no issues at all. It's not jerky and there's no flat spots. On the highway, when you're sitting about 70 or over 70, it does get a bit buzzy through the seat and also the foot pegs. Even though it does have the rubber mat foot pegs, it is a bit buzzy. Below that, completely smooth. So I wouldn't recommend this for doing freeway runs all the time, but it's fine if you've got to do some short stuff every now and again. Fuel economy is pretty good. The first day and all the slow stuff, it didn't get as much as we would have liked. I think it was 1.85 gallons got 90 miles, which is, today has been much, much better. I think 90 miles was 1.4 gallons, so that's quite good. What a turn! I suppose the biggest question is, would I buy this bike? And for me, I think it's a no. A Motard's got to be a bit of a hooligan bike, and this doesn't have the hooligan factor for me. It doesn't do lunatic wheelies. It is pretty good in the canyons. It can push in the canyons. The brakes are good. The suspension's good. It is a very good bike, but for me, it's just not enough of a hooligan bike. Who should buy this bike? I think it's someone who's getting into riding and it's still got a little bit of scope because it's got that mid-range punch now that it never used to have. Or someone who's getting back into riding, haven't ridden for a long time. That's who I think this would be ideally for. All right, that's it from me. I hope you like this review on the KLX300 Super Motard. I've also done one on the Dual Sport, and I'll be doing a comparison between the two. So look out for that. All right, if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you later.
over there.